All right, Andrew, hopefully that screen made sense, man. Hopefully that's a big click moment for you. But just to break it down even further, and I'll include a ton of links. So I have like different packages, and I'll include all of those packages within the email that I send back to you, as far as the hip mobility, ankle mobility, drill progression, all these like different types of packages I'll send. And then when you get it all, check it all out. If it makes sense, great, email me back. If it doesn't make sense, great, email me back. Just want to get on the same page with you, dude, and because I think this is going to be big. So starting from the very beginning, I think within the delivery, before you even get to a peak leg lift and we see that shift, I think right off the bat it's telling us that there's instability of the drive leg and there's lack of movement capacity. And so basically it's one and the same, in my opinion. Having a strong, stable drive leg is obviously crucial within the pitching delivery. We can't express and apply forces and transfer forces and energy throughout the delivery unless we're stable enough to hold force. And then the same thing for the front leg too, right? If it's not stable enough, we can't stabilize the force that's being transferred. So like I said, before you even reach peak leg lift and seeing that little shift, I think right off the bat for me, that's a hip movement capacity issue, seeing that there's compensation already occurring before even reaching that peak leg lift. And then I see another movement capacity issue with ankle dorsiflexion. That's why I think that heel is being disconnected from the ground. So some more screens that I want to kind of put in place are a single leg stability screen, ankle dorsiflexion screen, and a hip mobility screen. So these are things that you can do on your own. Basically, the ankle dorsiflexion one, I think you've done this being a pro guy, so this left leg would be your drive leg. See how I can go extreme forward, but still keep contact with my heel into the ground as my knee approaches up here. So I have really good ankle mobility and ankle dorsiflexion there. So I think what's happening for you is you probably get to like this point and then it would go off. So that's something that we'll just program and train that, better ankle capacity, because when you go into your drive phase, right, if you don't have that ankle capacity in that ankle dorsiflexion, then of course you're going to come up and you're going to compensate and get on the balls of your feet. So sometimes it's a motor control issue where you have the movement and we're just trying to train, the right pattern. And then sometimes it's a capacity issue that you actually just can't move that way because there's restrictions holding you back, and we have to get it to where you can move that way. So ankle dorsiflexion, and then hip internal rotation. So another one would be like, so this is my drive leg, I know it'd be opposite for you, but internally rotating your hips and seeing where you're at, right? Because if I can internally rotate to a good capacity without compensating, right? So you'll see that your trunk probably wants to like compensate without compensating, then come down, and it's the same thing, and you should be able to hold ground connection. So the hip internal rotation and ankle dorsiflexion are things that we can screen, assess, and train. Same thing with hip internal rotation here as well, right? So again, I'll program all of these things for you, and once we start getting those capacities built up, I believe more good will happen. Single leg stability is another one. I'm really big on single leg strength, stability, mobility, all that good stuff. So this could be another screen that you can do, is obviously the single leg balance and the coordination, right? So I like to do a ton of things barefoot for strength in the foot and the feet purposes, but single leg stability, controlling eccentric on the way down, keeping control of that knee, making sure it doesn't do this, and then that's when your heel will disconnect. But sitting back, controlling eccentric into the box, and then up, right? So I kind of gotten to the point where my progressions have already progressed into like a single leg pistol squat. But you know, if you're lacking that stability and strength and mobility, then you can elevate it, and then once you get better, you can take stuff off. Same thing, right? Controlling the eccentric, driving heel into the ground and up. So it's the same thing when we pitch. When we pitch, man, we want to drive energy into the ground. Obviously, we want momentum, drive energy, and explode. So when I say it's a false sense of separation because you're lacking the ability to move efficiently, I hope that makes sense to you. I'll program some stuff you can do for that. But another thing, if you have a stick, PVC pipe, whatever, something that will help this, another good thing you can do is feel that internal rotation and that separation, right? So notice how my shoulders, hands don't move. So that's the trunk posture, right? Almost wanting like that counter rotation, but I'm moving my hips into that internal rotation. So again, building up this T-spine capacity as well, right? Throughout the whole process. So you build that up. I'll program some T-spine stuff as well. And then to put all that together, I think some drill progressions. Again, these will all be outlined in the link. Drill progressions, opposite foot forward, half kneeling, get to max capacity. Don't compensate with any movements. Keep hips squared, right? This is where we want to be when we land. No, it's not, because it's opposite foot forward. But you get the point, right? With the hips, hold capacity. What's your max range? Challenge it. Hold, hold, hold. Don't compensate. Throw. Again, biggest thing for me is you have to get feelings first. Like you have to create the understanding for like, okay, dude, that's what it feels like at max separation. Okay, dude, that's what okay, all right, now we can go. Same thing you can do besides half kneeling, but opposite foot forward, kind of the same concept, right? Hips open, max range, overemphasizing that separation, and throw. But again, maybe even presetting, like in a regular throw, presetting that back hip opening. Again, these might be the motor control patterns that we need to train with that trail hip, getting into that full rotation, and then counter rotating the trunk, throwing. Holy smokes, I'm an athlete. New glove, it's not my fault. All right, that's all I got, I think. So yeah, T-spine, hip movement, ankle dorsiflexion, heel disconnection package, preset counter rotation package, all of those links, check them out. They'll be outlined in the email. And then shoot me back any questions that you have, dude, so we can get on the same page. I'd encourage you to sign up for a follow-up analysis, but I completely understand if you don't. Hopefully that was enough good for you to progress moving forward. Cool, dude. I'm pumped for you. Hopefully all that made sense. And hopefully we can throw 100.